Hi, I'm Miranda Cosgrove, and this is Mission Unstoppable. Coming up, looking smart is easy, especially when you're a scientist who can make your own vegan leather.
It looks and feels amazing.
Then, your imagination has limits. Really, but why? I spill the STEM tea on why it's impossible to dream up a new color. And our very own electric cat harnesses the power of lightning.
The sweet sounds of science.
With a Tesla coil. Then, virtual reality meets, real reality with some help from an engineer.
When you go in, just be prepared.
Wow.
Get ready to meet the scientists, inventors, and heroes who help make our world a better place. The future is here. The mission, unstoppable. Science is everywhere, but it's especially in this next segment. There's like a lot of it. Let's take a look.
Today, I'm at the Fashion Institute of Technology in New York City. To make it here, you have to have a bold vision, an eye for style, and lots of microbes. To find out what bacteria has to do with fashion, today I'm gonna be talking to Dr. Theanne Schiros.
So I certainly never thought I'd have a career or be working in fashion, so to speak. Really, I am a scientist first and foremost. But in truth, STEM has everything to do with fashion. All the clothes we wear were engineered. You engineer stretch, you engineer color, you engineer waterproofing. These are all engineering and chemical principles applied.
To show us how these principles come together, I need Theanne to spill the tea. Sweet tea, to be exact. So I have to ask you, what is that?
This may very well be our fiber factory of the future.
It smells like tea.
It's sweet tea, and those sweet tea are feeding bacteria, and those bacteria are spinning us new materials.
Wow. Theanne explains how her lab uses microbes, yeast, and bacteria to create fiber for a leather alternative, all part of her research focusing on designing and engineering new environmentally conscious materials to reach climate goals. A lot of people don't realize the impact that fashion has on the environment, and that's where sustainability comes in.
Indeed. The fashion industry is one of the most environmentally destructive industries in the world. It's actually responsible for 10% of global carbon budget, second leading source of global wastewater, and huge amounts of solid municipal waste.
Did you always know that you wanted to work in science or fashion, or did you know that you wanted to work in both?
Oh no, I wanted to be an Olympic tumbler.
What? While Theanne may not be doing somersaults today, she and her students hope their microbe-grown materials will turn the fashion world upside down in the future.
So here we are.
Wow, this is really cool. So what are we looking at here?
Well, I set up a little bit of a process biofabrication so we can kind of see the moving parts of how we go from microbe to textile.
That process, Theanne shows me, starts with feeding the bacteria a carbon source, which is the sugar, and a nitrogen source, which is the tea. And as the bacteria eats, it creates cellulose, which sits atop the liquid as a hydrated biofilm called a pellicle. I think it looks like skin.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
Leather comes to mind, right?
Yeah, it does come to mind.
Looks like a hide.
And just like how animal hides need to go through a tanning process before it becomes leather, this pellicle needs to go through a plant-based lecithin emulsion process before it becomes
Voila. But this is sort of the base bio-leather.
It looks and feels amazing. Can I see some of the things you've made?
Yeah, these are just a few examples of what we made. We have a little card holder here, a clutch, some mini bags.
So really the bio-leather can be used in so many ways. I guess that traditional leather has been used.
Yeah, and the idea is to do all of those same things with a significantly lower environmental and human health impact.
I feel like one of these days I'm gonna see these products on the runway.
Well, if that happens, you'll be sure to have a seat right up front in the cultured section with the microbes.
Good one.
Does this pink dress go with my eyes? I wish there was a brand new color. Maybe s'morange or blurple. Grebe. Try thinking of a new color. Close your eyes. No, really. Forget about the regular colors and just close your eyes and imagine a new one. And while we wait, I'm going to tell you the science. Because this is Miranda spilling the STEM tea. So, Did you discover a new color? Unless you're a superhero with superhuman vision, chances are you can't think of a new color because you've never seen a new color. But why? First, we have to look at our eyes and how they perceive and see color. When you see a color, let's use these beautiful red shoes, for example. Light hits the red shoe. It absorbs some of the light and reflects the rest. The wavelengths are reflected or absorbed depending on the properties of the object. In the case of this red shoe, wavelengths of around 620 to 750 nanometers bounce back. So when you see the shoe, the wavelengths of reflected light tell you what color you see. Red. But how do our eyes and brain process this? In the back of your eye is a tissue called the retina, and that's where rods and about 6 to 7 million cones that can only see 3 types of color live. So you have between 12 to 14 million cones total, or 21 million if you're really special. The rods and cones' job is to spot light and tell your brain by sending an electrical signal through the optic nerve. That signal travels to the thalamus, is processed, combining and repackaging some of them into new information, and sent to the visual cortex all the way in the back of your brain, which lets you know, hey, that's a red shoe. Now that you're a master of eye science, let's talk about why our brains can't comprehend a brand new color. Our visual color spectrum consists of red, orange, yellow, green, blue, indigo, and violet. Remember our old friend Roy G. Biv? Everything we see is a shade or a mix of those colors, like purple. So you're probably thinking, well, okay, what if I don't use my eyes and just imagine a new color? No cone receptions, no Roy G. Biv, just my imagination. That should work, right? Sorry, but no. Our brains just can't comprehend something that it's never experienced or seen before. And let's just pretend you do see the color. You still wouldn't be able to explain or describe it. The same way you couldn't describe, let's say, blue to someone who has never seen it before, because we can only see our own visible spectrum and nothing else. So unless we wake up one morning as a hummingbird with its 4 color cones and ability to see colors we can't even imagine, yes, I'm jealous. Not only can they fly around and eat sugar all day, but they also can see colors I can't. Then we'll just have to wait for the day a scientist invents a way for us to talk to hummingbirds and hear about all the colors that they can see and then have them try to explain it to us, but then they can't because we've never actually seen it, so that means we can't process it, and
Think of all the cool coils in the world. There's Tesla coils, and yeah, that's pretty much it. Most coils are just kind of there. We lucked out making this next segment about Tesla coils.
This is called a Tesla coil. It's named after Nikola Tesla. If that name sounds familiar, it's because I just said it twice. But it's also because he's an engineer and an inventor. He created the first alternating current motor. Oh yeah, and there's a car named after him. Maybe after a couple more segments, they'll name something really fun after me, like an ice cream machine. Hi, I am Electric Cat. Are you ready for this? The Tesla coil was originally designed to power objects without any wires. It creates an electric field that can turn on or power up some objects, like these little bulbs. Are you seeing this? But why does it work? Inside the Tesla coil is a transformer, which converts the lower voltage being applied into a higher, much higher voltage. When you use a toaster oven at home to toast up your bagel, your appliance runs around 120 volts. Small coils, like this one, can put out around 100,000 volts, while larger coils can produce over 1,000,000 volts. The high voltage charges generated by the coil create strong electric fields that excite the gas in a fluorescent tube, causing them to emit light, meaning the bulb can be turned on wirelessly. For this, I'll be putting on my gloves. I'm not really trying to touch 100,000 volts right now. It kind of looks like we have trapped lightning. I can't stop staring at it. It's beautiful. Okay, let's see what this one does. Wow. So as we can see, we can't really hold it too far away. This one, we have to be very, very close. Normally, these bulbs would get their power directly from a wire. The electric fields from the Tesla coil are strong enough to to excite the atoms even from a distance. However, it doesn't travel very far. This is one reason why we're still very reliant on wires to transmit electricity. But I want you to notice something else. Do you see the end of this thin wire sparking an incredible purple-blue color? Do you see how we're able to create the arc going from the wire through the air onto the screwdriver? Oh, that looks beautiful. This is the electric field ionizing nearby oxygen and nitrogen molecules that are in our air. These ionized molecules will send out arcs that look a lot like lightning, as we can see here, which makes sense because it's basically doing to the air what actual lightning does in a storm. When the electric potential between a cloud and the ground becomes large enough, it uses the molecules in the air to try to complete the circuit by, you guessed it, ionizing the nitrogen and oxygen molecules in the air, which gives you an incredible light show. This electromagnetic display also creates heat, which forces the air surrounding the coil to rapidly expand, which creates a static crackle. If you listen, you can hear the song of electricity. Now that is my jam. It's a real bop. Ah, the sweet sounds of science.
Are we rolling? I can't see the teleprompter. Good thing I remember that our next guest is Evelyn Chin, who's bringing a sense of touch to virtual reality. But that's just a guess. I can't see anything. Are you guys still here?
You know what's terrible? Living across the country from your loved ones. I mean, I know I can just pick up the phone or video call them, but sometimes you just miss a hug from your mom. Luckily, there's someone who's working on that technology right now. Today, I'm meeting with a computer scientist named Evelyn Chin, who's working on making long-distance touch a reality. A virtual reality, if you will. Evelyn Chin is the real deal. She's an engineer for a hardware-enabled software company working in augmented, virtual, and extended reality.
I wasn't excited in high school. At that point, I was doing homework and I had nothing else to do. And I really wanted to work on something that was important, that was meaningful, and I was really contemplating questions like, what am I gonna do for the world and how can I help out?
Feeling like she had nothing to lose, Evelyn cold emailed many software companies. The only one that replied ended up hiring her, and today she's an engineer, working to bring the sense of touch to the virtual realm. Hey, Evelyn.
Hey man, what's up?
So what do you do here at this company?
We essentially bring touch to virtual reality.
What does that mean, bringing touch to virtual reality?
It means that you put on a headset and you see something, say it's a leaf, and you're able to feel the leaf. Or say it's someone's hand, and you're able to feel someone's hand. That takes the form of a device on the table. It emits ultrasound waves to a certain point in space so you can feel vibrating air.
That's incredible. So I could be on the phone with someone and I can reach out and touch them?
That's the goal. We're focusing on human connection. By bringing touch to virtual reality, we're hoping to bring people closer together who are far away.
That is incredible and so wholesome. Can I play with this technology?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah? Touch is the first sense humans encounter. It promotes development, strengthens emotional bonds, and is fundamental to social communication. So if this experience is all that Evelyn promises, my mind is about to be blown. Oh, wow. This is so cool.
This is our holodeck.
Wow, so this is the device.
This is the device, this is it.
Wow, she looks cute.
She's sleek, yeah. It's about the size of a laptop. It's got 400 ultrasound transducers underneath. The transducer kind of looks a little like these. They're like little circles.
They really look like little tiny speakers.
That's kind of exactly what they are. They pop out sound waves and you're able to feel the air that it vibrates.
Wow. Evelyn explains that these small foam circles emit ultrasound waves that vibrate the air. And it's these vibrations our brains interpret as touch. Like how at concerts you can feel the music thumping from the giant speakers. It's the same with these transducers, except here, engineers like Evelyn take all that sound wave energy and squish it into a single point in space, allowing the user to feel things up to 3 feet above and in a 120-degree cone around the device.
Have you ever been in virtual reality?
I have been in virtual reality before, but I've never been able to feel the things that I see.
Right, so when you go in, just be prepared.
Spoiler alert, I was not prepared.
Something is happening.
Evelyn and I check out the Center, a virtual room where users can hang with their friends, interact with family, and even virtually shake hands.
Wow. That was incredible. Really jarring, actually, to see me shaking your hand and then also feel it.
And what's so awesome is that your brain is incredible and it fills in all of the gaps for you so that even if it doesn't feel like a real hand, it feels like someone is there.
Just like how when we look at optical illusions, our brains fill in the gaps for our eyes, so we think we see shapes where ones don't exist. But Evelyn and I have more to do, like shoot lightning from our fingers.
No way.
Or send each other heart emojis that we can feel.
What? Are you kidding me?
Yep, you just gave me a heart and I can give one back.
That was really sweet. I also felt like completely different vibrations on my hand that time. It felt like it was in my palms and kind of in the shape of a heart, and then it also felt like it was moving around my hands.
Yeah.
And of course, the ultimate game changer.
Do you play chess?
Okay. Whoa! Evelyn, I'm not trying to be dramatic here, but this is the best day of my life.
Well, I can't believe that was your first time because you actually destroyed me in both of those games. So I think I'm done.
Yeah, sounds good. Let's get back to reality. Woo! Evelyn, thank you so much for an incredible day.
It was our pleasure.
It was so cool to see how computer science can be used to help solve problems, and this technology in particular can help bring people together.
Yeah, we're really trying our best here.
Well, I think it's only fitting.
If we end with the tactile heart.
Exactly.
Let's see you later, man.
Take care.
All this heart talk is making me miss.
Hey, Mom, I just finished up work and I was thinking of you, so I thought I'd give you a call. What's up?
I haven't heard from you in a month.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Okay?
Yeah, I've just been busy.
Eating? Have you been taking your vitamins? Because it's really important.
Yeah, Mom, I have been
And
taking...
I don't want you getting sick.
Uh-huh.
You know what? Next time I'll just send my mom a tactile heart.
Welcome back. Before we go, we have one last thing.
The first piece of advice I would have is to find a community. And having someone who understands you, having someone that you can lean on is very important. Take up space, trust yourself, because in a field where people are going to doubt you just because of the way you look, the last thing you need is doubt from your best ally, which is yourself.
The first thing that comes to mind is be bold, be fearless. Follow your interests, follow your pursuits. You know, sometimes the seat at the table isn't there, make the seat. Pull out the chair and sit at the table.
That's it for Mission Unstoppable. We'll be back next time with some more science. And hopefully, they'll let me do my science raps. I rhyme beaker with speaker. It's so good. Bye. If you're watching this, you must have really liked the video. Make sure you follow and subscribe, and check out these other videos that are even better. No, really. I've seen this one over 100 times.